Before we begin, I invite you to gently close your ears and focus on what remains when all external sounds fade away. It's like sitting in a quiet room, and after a while, you notice a subtle ringing or hum beneath the silence. If you listen closely, you'll start to experience this soft, constant presence, something that feels like the very fabric of reality itself. In quantum physics, it's said that everything is connected at the most fundamental level, and that everything we see is just a manifestation of deeper, unseen energy. What you are hearing, or rather feeling, is that same energy, that same field of potential. This subtle ringing is what we call the sound of silence. It's not just an abstract concept or some external force. It's the very essence of you. Everything we discuss in this session and the ones to come will be about this sound of silence. It is not something separate or different from you. It is you. This exploration is about realizing that the sound of silence is your own inner being, your most fundamental nature, the stillness from which all life arises. You are that, the very presence behind everything. When you detach from your physical body and remain calmly present in your unrestricted conscious self, you immediately experience happiness, peace, and freedom. This state reflects an intrinsic nature similar to clay, which continuously undergoes changes in form even with the slightest external pressure. This transformation is understood as both birth and death, not as distinct events but as intertwined processes. At the very moment a form changes, the old form ceases to exist, and a new one takes its place. In this way, life and death are part of a single process, both occurring simultaneously. When you observe these forms, you perceive death and birth. But if you focus on the essence, like the clay itself, there is no birth or death. This is the key to remaining calm. There's no other way to achieve calmness except by being present in your unbound conscious self. Being present means to remain equanimous, as physical presence is impossible due to the constant changes of the physical world. You cannot physically exist in something that is perpetually in flux. Emotional states are similarly unstable. Trying to cling to feelings, whether good or bad, is futile because they continuously change, cycling from joy to sorrow and back again. You may attempt to hold on to a specific emotion, like always feeling positive towards someone, but it's impossible. Conflicts arise and your feelings shift, just as your body is subject to changes in health, which is also beyond your control. The same applies to thoughts. You may try to maintain a single thought, like focusing on a higher being, but distractions inevitably arise. The mind wanders, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot fixate on one thought indefinitely. The cycle of change continues, so how can you be truly present? The answer lies in finding something stable. Since neither the body, emotions, nor thoughts are stable, presence must be anchored in something unchanging. This can only be achieved at the level of understanding. The understanding that I am is unshakable. There's no doubt about it. It's a truth that transcends labels such as good or bad, tall or short. When you start adding qualifiers like nationality or character traits, that's when conflict arises. But the simple fact of I am is without conflict or doubt. It is a pure, unquestionable truth. You cannot dispute the fact of your existence. Someone might see things differently through another lens, but the fact that you are seeing, experiencing, and being remains constant. The material reality that causes perception may vary, but the core truth, the existence of the perceiver, does not. Once this understanding becomes clear, you realize that the witness, the I am, remains unchanged, even as forms and experiences come and go. Life itself, with all its changes, is viewed through this stable consciousness. The real challenge is to remember that the witness, your true self, is detached from the body and mind. This is the sound of silence, the space in which you can always be present. When you connect to that, you are not merely listening or observing, you are embodying that sound of silence. Detachment from worldly things doesn't mean cutting ties with the physical or emotional aspects of life, but rather recognizing that you were never bound to them in the first place. This leads to the realization that there is no need for liberation, as you are already free. Just like discovering the law of gravity, the truth of your existence isn't something created but something uncovered. The self, what you truly are, is not the body or mind. It is something far beyond. Even if you lose a part of your body, the I am remains. Your awareness persists even when your physical senses are impaired. This points to the idea that the witness or the sound of silence was here before the body and will continue to exist after it is gone. Bodies change, evolve, and die, but the witness remains. Over time, the body adapts, and the witness sees all these changes. Each form records its own experiences based on what it perceives, but the nature of seeing does not change. The misconception lies in identifying yourself with the body. This ignorance is the root of suffering because it binds you to impermanent things. Traditionally, people are taught to ask, "Who am I?" and begin a search for this deeper understanding. But this search only yields results for a few because they realize that the truth is not found through seeking, but through stopping. The truth of I am is constant, unchanged by the passing of time, thoughts, or emotions. While everything else fades and fluctuates, the witness remains. Understanding this brings immense clarity. The sound of silence represents this unchanging reality. It is beyond time and form, unaffected by external changes. Forms are subject to birth and death, but the formless witness is not. Time may alter forms, but it cannot affect that which is timeless. This reality exists beyond attachment, beyond the body and mind. The sound of silence is not bound to any one form. It is all-encompassing and ever-present. It is remarkable how the mind often falls into the trap of duality, thinking in terms of attachment or separation, but the truth lies in the middle ground, in understanding that you are neither attached nor detached in the way the mind perceives it. Thus, when you separate yourself from the body and remain calmly present in your unbound conscious self, you stabilize your understanding and connect with that sound of silence. This is the essence of being present. It's not about withdrawing from life or seeking solitude in caves or spiritual retreats. It's about cultivating an equanimous state of mind amidst the constant changes of life, understanding that the witness within you is eternally free, unbound, and unaffected by the fluctuations of the material world. The witness, the sound of silence, is the stable ground where you can always rest, detached from the impermanent forms that come and go, and ever present in the eternal I am.